Good evening, barflies, lounge lizards, and welcome to Late Night Video. I'm your host, the Dollar Store Dean Martin, and tonight we'll be taking a look at Star Slammer, aka Prison Ship, from 1986. Directed by legendary filmmaker and professional wrestler Fred Olen Ray of Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, Dinosaur Island, and Evil Toons fame, Star Slammer is essentially a sci-fi based women in prison movie, set in space. And it tells the story of a freelance miner on a distant planet who is forced to defend herself against a corrupt starship captain. The captain is injured in the confrontation, so our poor miner is sentenced to a prison ship under the eye of a sadistic female warden. But what would a women in prison movie be without a sadistic female warden? But this one definitely falls more into the Roger Corman school of women in prison movies than it does the female prisoner scorpion style films. And it's actually even lighter hearted than the Corman films. Not a comedy per se, but that trademark Fred Olen Ray wit and charm is present throughout. It's also not an overly violent film and lacks the darker elements of many in the genre. The film stars Sandy Brooke as our wrongly imprisoned and scantily clad miner. Brooke doesn't have the longest of resumes, but was featured in several other genre pictures, including the Dave Dakota classic Nightmare Sisters, as well as the sci-fi film Deep Space, also by Fred Olen Ray. And man, I always dug that Deep Space cover. But probably more notably is our villain of the piece, played by Ross Hagen. Hagen did way too many great films to even try and list them all, but a few include Bikini Drive-In, Dinosaur Island, Angel and its sequel, and Alienator. And for my video game viewers out there, he was the voice of Landon Ricketts from Red Dead Redemption, a standout character from the game. Finally, we have Bobby Breesy, Playboy bunny and actress known for Ghoulies, Evil Spawn, and Mausoleum. Star Slammer is slam full, or star slam fold, as the dictionary says. With wonderful low-budget sci-fi effects, it has everything from alien cafeteria workers to mutant rats to a very special guest appearance. And one name in particular I wanted to mention was the effects artist John Dodds. Dodds also worked on Spookies, Ghostbusters 2, and the soon-to-be-mentioned Deadly Spawn. Parts of Star Slammer were filmed at Roger Corman's New World studio. Mr. Ray rented said studio for a mere 4 days, one of which was used to shoot footage for the film Biohazard. And this footage, the footage shot for Star Slammer, was used to gain funding for the rest of the picture, which is actually known by several different titles, including Prison Ship, Adventures of Tara Part 1, Star Slammer The Escape, and Prison Ship Star Slammer. A neat feature of the film is that it is broken up into chapters, much like a film serial. Now, the very special guest appearance I mentioned before, and I don't mean the cameo by John Carradine, but the Deadly Spawn itself appears in the film in one of the more memorable scenes. Now, an interesting little tidbit about director Fred Olen Ray is that he loaned a 16mm camera to Quentin Tarantino so that he could shoot the short film My Best Friend's Birthday. And finally, Fred Olen Ray's wrestling stage name was Fabulous Freddie Valentine. Surprisingly, it's really not that sleazy for a women in prison movie. You probably wouldn't want to watch it with your grandma. That is, unless your grandma's really into women in prison movies, but overall, it's a bit tame. Wacky? Oh yeah, and then some. And you know what? I'll just let the movie speak for itself. Star Slammer has been released on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray, and at the time of this recording is readily available. And I give this one 3.75 mini alien luchadors out of 5. This is a fun, unique, really wacky movie that stands out in both sci-fi and women in prison movies. And that's all the time we have this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, and keep it wacky.
You're starship captain in an asteroid field. Blast them with your lasers or wood up your shields. As a missile commander defending your city. If you're not quick enough, they'll show no pity. The invaders won't stop us from the skies they drop. Just keep coming.
3 out-of-this-world games from Atari, the #1 video computer system with more games than any other.
Everyone's gone Atari, the #1 video game.
Hello, is this 1976 Psych? I was in the dark until I called 1976 Psych. Now I know my past, present, and my future. You can too. Call 1976 Psych.